and CEO of Castor. And in order to tell you about Castor, I first need to tell you something about 3D printing. So 3D printing is capable of doing almost anything these days. It can build houses, it can fix your teeth, it can even print gifts to my dog. It can basically turn almost any abstract figure into a real-life product. Ernst & Young says it's going to be a $20 billion industry in 2020, and it is now mature enough to have a full-color, customized, printed gaming figurines. So Castor is an in-app 3D print button for game developers that bridges the gap between the user's needs and the technology's capabilities. It allows the gamers to take their favorite character out of the screen and bring it to life. It's like a magic, believe me. This is how it works. The user plays the game, he wins level 5, he presses the button, he chooses his character, the one who took him there, the one who is engaged with. He chooses his own customization, the shields, the weapon, he pays, and from that moment on, we take care of the rest. First, we make the file printable. That's our core technology. Second, we send it to a service bureau. It's then printed there and delivered to the user's home. He opens the box, and he's happy. Jeremy? I wouldn't tell you this unless 90% of those heavy gamers we've asked over the last 9 months would have told us they would pay $100 for a 10 centimeters model with their name on it. There are a few companies who aim to this goal. Senboxar, Sony, Fabzet, successful companies. There were a few acquisitions lately of 3D content companies. Unity purchased one, Disney, but none of them is doing it within an app and enables full customization. Our business model is pretty simple. The end user price divides into 3. Some of it go to the service bureau, some of it go to the developer, some of it go to us. Let's take a look at an example of a single MMO company. MMO stands for multiple massive online games. These are large-scale companies, EA, Blizzard, Disney. If we manage to engage only 3% of paying users in the next 3 years, it's a $6 million business, and that's only MMOs. This is our penetration market. So with me there is Elad and Elul. Elad and I are best friends from the Army service at 669 unit. Elad is an expert in SDKs and in-app payment in MyCheck. Elul and I are going to Colors Management School together. He's a fighter pilot. As for me, I work for Stratasys. It's the leading company in the world for 3D printing these days. So what we've done so far, we've done a market research. We do have an SDK for Android and iOS, and we have our own model standard which you can buy on our website. Winning the contest will help us scale up into the gaming industry, and in the future, expand our business model. By saying that, we see 3D print button in all kind of companies who want to have in-house merchandise, or for the do-it-yourself community who already have CAD designs, and finally for the plastic spare parts industry. Just imagine that some electronic device at your home broke, and you enter into the company's website, you press the button, and you get the exact part that you want to your home. So if you believe in 3D printing accessibility, come talk to us after the
Okay, so that was 4 minutes and 10 seconds, which means you have 90 seconds to play with. That's great. My question to you is, your business model is dependent upon adoption by game developers. So
Yep.
they have to adopt your button in their system.
Right.
How technologically difficult is that? So how much of a barrier to entry is the integration? And how confident are you that these multi-billion-dollar games are looking for an extra revenue stream, are looking to make some money off of Jeremy's dwarf that he made level 20 with and gave the axe of so-and-so with and the hammer of Thor? Like, how do you know that the companies who are already invested in this, not the printing aspect, but the game aspect, want this and will integrate it easily?
Okay, thanks for the question. These are good questions. So I'll divide the answer into two. The one is business, right? So PC and MMOs games goes 4.4 year over year now, and the mobile games expands much larger. So those PC games looking for new income, for new revenue streams. I mean, they're losing money for the guy who is sitting at home and playing on his mobile instead of coming to the computer. Okay? And the second would be the value that we give to the customer. So it is only now in the last year that this technology, this high-end technology of full color printed figurines is entering to the market, and when they see this value in front of them and the value that we are sure it gives to the end users, they will be able to join. Look at the at Blizzard. They're already in Sandboxar. They're one of our competitors, and
But you haven't actually answered my question, which is how easy is it to integrate your technology into
Omer, I'll take
World
that
of
one.
Warcraft, DCU Heroes Online, and 1,000 other ones, which are all written in different scripts, different languages, using different physics engines. How easy is it to get your code into there, and why do they care?
I forgot the first question. Great. I'll let my CTO answer that one.
So first of all, in my day job, I write SDKs that go into other applications. What I learned from there is that in order for a customer to allow an SDK inside their technology, the equation is you need to give enough of a value to be worth the risk times the development time. Those are the two downsides. So the value we spoke about enough, I think. The risk, we are mitigating that by having most of the implementation in HTML, WebView, which makes it very unlikely for any crashes or problems. And as for development time, we have minimized it to really a few lines of code that should be very fast to implement. And as for different platform support, we have platform support already for iOS and Android. And once we make a plugin for Unity, that will give us a very big percent of the market is straight.
Answer the second half. So now he's told me it's going to take a day and a few $1,000s to integrate, just roughing it out. Why do I care? I've spent $100 million developing orcs for World of Warcraft. Why do I care that I make a few dollars here and there off of a mod?
That can actually make a differentiation of your product out of the others. Because once you're entered into this world and you're facing, I would say, the in-app purchases of the mobile, or you're facing other companies' merchandise, you're now differentiated, and everybody will want to be like you.
So we'll now stop it officially, and we're going to open it to the floor. So let's be good peers and good collaborators and give him some feedback. What did you think of his presentation?
So first of all, I'm thinking that the way you presented was good. You will come, you see that you practice the pitch itself. Maybe you should show a little bit more passion and motivation when you talk about your product, for my opinion. But that's
It's hard, right? Because you don't want to be overly passionate and people
Yeah.
don't think you're serious. And then you want to be too serious and people don't think you're passionate.
Yeah.
But that is a very good point. Are there other thoughts that we can share to help him do better before I go?
Too technical, too much.
No, didn't think it was too technical. I thought you should lead with your elevator pitch, which actually appears in your second slide, just so that I know who you are, and why I care. And it sounds to me like you did do some user testing, some user interactivity, some surveys, because you talked about a 9-month period, and then you talked a little bit about people saying they would agree. The best line I saw was 90% would pay $100. That only makes sense if you put the denominator. 90% would pay $100 of a survey of 2,000 World of Warcraft users last week. I didn't know if that was your cousins, and you asked them if they would pay, and they said yes. I didn't know if it was 5 people or 5,000, and I didn't know who they were. So if this is an active test of people who are playing World of Warcraft regularly, then use that to put a frame on it. Similarly, I would love to know which game developers, big or small, you've had a conversation with. Even if they're just little people in a small game, they're not Blizzard, I still want to know that you're making the right sort of inquiries to different companies, not just to the users. Does that make any sense?
Of course.
Are there any other
We did that, we didn't show that.
Then you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
This is a documentary, not a mystery. You don't want people confused at the end.
Yeah.
Any other feedback?
Maybe one small thing. You show the competition slide, and you add companies that, for people that are interested in this, like Blizzard and things like that, are huge companies. So maybe how you're mitigating the risk that such a giant company, or how can you, what's your advantage on such a giant company?
And you may want to use the standard
Technology.
That was the
yeah,
question.
2x2 matrix, the kind of, you know, Sony's doing it this way, Blizzard's doing it that way. We've chosen to do it this way, which they can't because they're the incumbent, or they're too big, or they have this business model, right? To me, the first people who are going to use this are the independent game developers who need the extra revenue. Great feedback. Okay, make sure that what we have on this board before you finish is accurate. So your Facebook, Twitter, and URL behind you. And while you do that, let's ask Shees to come on up and go next.